Okay, so in the first video, we looked at how we add our um, polynomials. Okay, so now with the second example, we're going to look at how we subtract these polynomials. Okay, and essentially it's going to kind of be very similar to when we add these. Okay, but there's one important step that you must do first before you start subtracting. Okay, so notice it's negative right here in the middle. Okay, that's like a negative 1. Okay, so when you are subtracting these polynomials, you essentially have to distribute that negative 1 to every term that's in this second polynomial. Okay, and if we go through and if we multiply everything by negative 1, essentially all that's going to happen is the sign of every term is going to change. And by the sign, I mean the negative is going to change to a positive, the positive 17 is going to change to a negative 17, and my positive 12 is going to change to a negative 12. Okay, so one thing that I like to do to remember this is I say, okay, make your minus sign a plus sign, and then we change the sign of everything that comes after it. Okay, so that's a negative 6x squared, so now it's going to become a positive 6x squared. Okay, that's a positive 17x because there's a plus sign in front of it. So I'm just going to put a little negative there because now it's a negative 17x. And then lastly, we have a positive 12 that we will make a negative 12. Okay, so now that we have an addition sign here and we have changed the sign of everything in the second polynomial, now we can go back and add it just like we did this first example. Okay, so again, you're going to look at those like terms, right? So I see an x squared here, and I see an x squared here. Okay, so I know that these are like terms. So remember we say keep your variable and your exponent the same, and you combine your coefficients. So in this case, we're combining negative 8 plus a positive 6. So negative 8 plus 6 gives me 2, negative 2. So negative 2x squared. Okay, then we've got next, we're looking at this 6x. Okay, and I have a 6x that's a like term with a now negative 17x. Okay, so we're going to keep that variable and the exponent the same. So the x stays as an x. We just combine those coefficients. So 6 plus negative 17 is going to give me negative 11. Okay. And then lastly, we've got our constants. So we've got 4 and we've got negative 12. So then 4 plus negative 12. So 4 plus negative 12 gives me a negative 8. Okay. And that's it. We've simplified the polynomials. We've subtracted them. Okay. And I can't go any further than this right here because none of these are like terms. So we've simplified this as far as we can go.